Number 10, Aries. Okay, since these are top 10s, I was forced to leave 2 zodiac signs out of part 1. So yeah, of course I had to return with more because that's just unfair, right? So kicking off this list, we have Aries, the big warrior. Main character energy coming in hot. You Aries, you are fierce. You're innovators, you're competitors. You like being the leader of the pack. Historically though, Aries have abused said leadership. Kim Il-sung, for example, the communist leader of North Korea back in 1948. He started the Korean War and took out 90% of his generals that fought in that war. Pol Pot as well, the prime minister of Cambodia from 1976 to 1979. He ordered a genocide against the entire country. So while it's one thing to be ruthless during your conquests, do remember that historically Aries, they have no idea when it stops. Number 9. Pisces. We'll head back to Greek mythology to kick this one off for our Pisces. Pisces is the fish when referred to in Greek mythology. Y'all are fishy apparently, you like swimming upstream. Aphrodite and Eros were walking along the Euphrates River when Typhon appeared, okay? Now at this point, they were terrified, the two, of course. They were both unable to run from him due to his size and power, so they called upon Zeus instead and asked for help. They asked Zeus to help turn them into fish so that they could then escape into the river. Yeah, that's why Pisces are so good at improv. You adapt to survive. Number 8, Aquarius. Aquarius, yes. Oh, you love swimming, right? Aqua, you must like the water. Aquarius is an air symbol. Yep, pass it on to everybody you know. Let's fix that. But you're used to it, right? As an Aquarius, you know how to keep calm and just carry on, whatever. Aquarius is the water bearer. They pour the blessings onto humanity, right? Many myths surround the Aquarius symbol, like Ganymede Deucalion. If you're an Aquarius, odds are you're a creative humanitarian. People will be attracted to you, you know? People are looking at you, they know what's up, they know the goods when they see it. But you do have to know when to push back a little bit, you know? Don't let them take advantage of your hard work ethic. Again, draw that line somewhere. Number 7, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, son of the Titan Kronos. One of the many centaurs in Greek mythology. Now, Chiron Sagittarius, he was different than other centaurs. Yeah, he was different. He was born half man and half horse, whereas the other centaurs were born of the sun and rain clouds. One day, Chiron was accidentally shot with a poisoned arrow by Hercules. Even though he was a great physician, Chiron could not heal himself. Being immortal, Chiron could also not die, but was pained by the poisoned arrow. So we have a little situation here. So in order to die, Chiron offered to replace Prometheus, who was punished by the gods for, you know, giving fire to man. Here you go, bad decision. So now you, a Sagittarius, this is when you step up. You put yourself on the line, solving a greater problem while handling one of your own. As Chiron gave up his immortality to release Prometheus from his chains, Zeus, you know, king of the gods, saw this kindness of Chiron and immortalized him in the stars. Number 6, Capricorn. Let me guess, you're in the middle of a commitment that you shouldn't have taken on? Nice, you're an awesome. Keep it up, Capricorn, nice. I feel like a Capricorn this week only, you know? Apparently, you're work focused and also a little boring. Yeah, sorry. I personally disagree, but the internet seems to have you all figured out. Saturn is your planetary overseer, right? It's known for rewarding those who work in every aspect of their lives, not just, you know, work, or relationships. You gotta spread it all out. Be a hustler. And you are a hustler, but you're also the first to let loose and dance the night away, okay? You're literally the goat. That's your symbol. You're the goat. You were born between December 22nd and January 19th, aka the holiday season. That's a hot time for a birthday. Everyone's focused on holidays. Everyone's focused on things besides you. But in order to get attention, you need to be loud and you have to be big, right? I get that. When regarding to astrology, Capricorn is an earth sign and people born under said sign are responsible. They're patient, they're ambitious, all that good stuff. Capricorn is also associated with the idea of permanence, right? As it's one of the constellations that remains in the sky all year long. It's reliable for stargazers and, you know, you're reliable for us. Keep it up. Hit that thumbs up, you reliable soul, you. Number 5, Libras. Okay, for a halfway point here, let's balance it out. My personal sign, the Libra. Let's talk mythology about us flip-floppers, shall we? Yeah, Libras love bailing, who knew? Libra is a masculine sign ruled by Venus, of course balanced by the opposite sign, Aries, and also ruled by Mars. The combination of both masculine and feminine in the quality of signs and its ruler allows for Libras to have an androgynous feel that's reflected in said mythology. We're represented by a scale, okay? Everyone else gets animals, they get a lion or a fish, we get a meat scale. That's horrible. This means we're balanced in a sense of feelings and ideas. And also that we love Guitar Hero 2. That's on this one a lot, really. When the sun rose in Libra at the autumn equinox, paradox, the scales of balance belong to the sun god Utu or Shamash. Utu ruled over justice and truth and was associated with law and order. That's why when we see law courts or all that good stuff, we always see the sun god blindfolded. Sword of judgment in one hand and scales of judgment in the other. Yeah, we don't get a cool animal, but we get a sword. Number 4, Leo's, the lion. Leo, the lion. We have to mention you again, of course. The constellation Leo was first noted by the Greek astronomer Ptolemy. This is in the 2nd century, along with, the other ones as well. Greek astrologers played a huge role in what we now know today about the shape and size of the Earth, the moon, and the positions of constellations and how they move. All that good planetary confusing stuff. This was the first ever cosmic prediction, and these predictions are still going strong to this day. I mean, clearly we're on part 2 here, so we all check our horoscopes every now and then. That's obvious. And for some, these horoscopes mean a lot. So let's go back in history. The oldest example of a lion statue here goes back to 40,000 BCE, found in the Hohenstein-Stadel cave in Germany. This lion man was carved from mammoth ivory and was originally thought to be a goddess figurine, but of course later on it was clear the 30-centimeter high statue was half man and half beast. Looking a little familiar, right? Looking a little Leo-like. The lion man represents a shaman wearing the pelt of a lion in order to take on the animal's power, perhaps as a part of a hunting ritual. So yeah, all you Leos aren't afraid to get dirty. Number 3, Scorpio. October 23rd to November 21st, you spooky asses. Greek mythology associates Scorpio, story of Orion, which was a giant and also an accomplished hunter, of course. And also, most importantly, he was the son of one Poseidon. You got some big shoes to fill, my friend, but no sweat, you're a Scorpio, you can do anything. One version of the myth has Orion, who held himself in high regard, bragging about his hunting skills, of course, as one Orion would. So that's one way you Scorpios like to get down. And according to Greek myths, depending on which of the many you're reading, Artemis, a hunter in her own right, sent a scorpion to kill him. So what goes around comes around. Don't get too cocky. Hit that thumbs up. Number 2, Cancer. June 21st to July 22nd, the constellation of Cancer in itself identifies with the second of the 12 labors, assigned to the hero of Greek mythology himself, Hercules. Yeah, you big, strong, beautiful man, you. This task wasn't easy, but you did it. Yeah, congrats. You sitting in your living room, you did it. You killed Lerny, congratulations. You actually defeated a water snake with 9 heads. Yeah, you, hit that thumbs up, you did it. If you have Cancer in your birth chart, you're compassionate and caring. You have a strong connection to your emotions, and you may find yourself drawn to careers that involve helping others. You're loyal and supportive, and you place a high value on family and close relationships. Nice. And you also love taking off heads of hydras. And finally, number 1, Aries. Yeah, I had to talk about you badasses once again. I left you out of part 1 because I knew you could handle it, okay? Last we spoke about Aries, it was a dark light, okay? A lot of horrible leaders in history have burned the mark, but there's good too out there, okay? Aries are not afraid to step away from said limelight. They have self-awareness even at times when you shouldn't necessarily speak up, or it's, ill timing. March 20th to April 21st, if you're born around there, sorry to tell you, you're stubborn, you're willful, and you're impulsive, but you're also pretty cool. A common denominator here when searching up an Aries throughout history is that you all get quite jealous, hence why I put you first and last on this list. Yeah, stay chillin', Aries, relax. Kicking off our list at number 10, dangerous Scorpios. Yeah, we'll start off with the Zodiac sign I was nearly assigned to. I was born a month early, luckily, so now I'm a Libra. But had I been born from October 23rd to November 22nd, it would be Scorpio season. I would be a badass, apparently, I don't know. Scorpios are brave, they're bashful souls. They're known to rush into danger head on, like a scorpion with their ass horn thing behind them. I don't like them. They're ambitious, they're fierce, but they're also quite jealous. Who knew? I was almost one of them. I'm definitely one of them. They have a venom inside them like their name suggests. Leonardo DiCaprio, he's a Scorpio. It's pretty nice. But so is Charles Manson, he's also a Scorpio. Get what I'm saying? The legend of the giant scorpion, this goes back to ancient Greek mythology. When Artemis was mad at Orion, she sent a giant scorpion to do her bidding, and in turn, the beast got a pass to the heavens. Nice. You Scorpios, you're shady. I'm watching you. You're venomous sting and going to heaven. Number 9, Leo. Leo the lion. Look at you roar, okay? We get it. You're big and brave and bold and bashful. I like the word bashful today. I'm using that a lot. But it's not your fault. It's just the hands that you were dealt with, right? It's just life giving you some shit. The Zodiac myths surrounding this sign all began when Hercules was a young chap. Remember Hercules? Back when he was young? Good days. Hercules had to complete 12 tasks, the first of which was defeating the Nemean lion. Now after defeating the foul beast with just his bare Hercules hands, his old HH, the soul of said lion took its place among the stars. Now Leo is one of the few animals of the Zodiac signs, beginning on July 24th, stretching to August 23rd. You Leos are self-confident, okay? You don't need a Hercules coming in and your day up. You're the best at friendships. You're a true companion, but it's easy for somebody to take advantage of said kindness, okay? So watch your back, watch those around you. Roar sometimes, you know, scare the shady ones away. You need to eat a Hercules from time to time, okay? As history says. Leos are also known for getting revenge. So yeah, I'm watching you, Kyle. Number 8. Virgo, the maiden. Of course, I can't forget about you lovelies. Let's do it. Your season is arriving soon. You're feeling it, right? It's in the air. You're feeling the change in the air around you. That back to school, crisp morning air. Let the plotting begin. Let's do it. Beginning on August 24th and running until September 22nd, the season of Virgo is quite positive. Hey, nice. You're all creative. This is the best time for you, right? You express yourself via music and dance. You're kind to others. You help others. But those standards, they can get a little high. I'm not gonna lie. They can get a little too ambitious. You can be a bit judgy as well, okay? Sometimes you can overthink emotions and or relationships. And you're also masterminds, which is a little terrifying. We gotta keep an eye on you guys, for sure. This is a scary combo. If things don't go their way, they make things difficult and messy. The constellation Virgo has a dark backstory. It stems from the destruction of Pandora's box. Yeah, remember when demons were released to punish humanity? It's because of you. Get involved, but not too involved. Let things happen. Don't open the box. I almost tripped over the box. Don't open or trip over the box. Number 7, Cancer. Did somebody mention a giant crab? That's pretty terrifying. Let's talk about that. The constellation Cancer was born from Hera's hatred for Hercules. Yeah, you can't be slapping lions left, right, and center, my friend. And you can't get away with it as well. Stop it. Zeus's queen, Hera, then sent a giant crab to kill Hercules. Terrifying. That ought to be quite the image, looking back in your rear view, seeing a giant crab behind you. See ya. Hercules also defeated the crab because he's a unit, okay? Nothing's stopping him. He's literally Hercules. The crab pinched Hercules' toe, and in turn he kicked it to the cosmos. See you later, pal. Gone. But these stars, this constellation, is not bright on purpose. See, since the crab didn't accomplish its task, it only gets about, it only gets the 30-watt light bulbs up there in heaven. It gets the low, dim stars that are kind of dying. I don't know. Cancers run from June 22nd to July 22nd, so it's getting kind of close. Get them while they're on your side, right? Number 6, Sagittarius. The archer. Uh-oh, here we go, heads up. In Greek mythology, the archer of Sagittarius, their name was Crotus. He was a half goat and half man. The Sagittarius stands like Donald Trump. He's just like kind of always involved. Crotus was an extremely talented musician and huntsman who is attributed with inventing the bow and arrow, okay? Nice. The Muses then asked Zeus to place him in the stars where he can be seen showing off his, it's cool. That's the thing, you guys are all show-offs, right? November 2nd to December 21st, the holiday season, right? No, gotta look at me instead. Forget your holiday staff party. My birthday's rolling around. It's all a party for me. Nothing is more important than a Sagittarius's desires, okay? We gotta remember that. But they're soft at the heart, even though they're all know-it-alls. They're soft in here, okay? Number 5, Capricorn, AKA the GOAT. The G-O-A-T. December 22nd to January 19th. Again, show-offs, right? Capricorns are represented by the sea goat, but its dark side is represented by the Leviathan. Great. Both I'd rather not be involved with, if I'm being honest. Just like the sea itself, Capricorns can be extremely mysterious, dark, and dangerous. Yeah, they can be dangerous. There's always some kind of mystery going on with a Capricorn, and you truly never know what they're thinking. Capricorns can be very difficult to understand, which can make people feel like they're hard to deal with, but it's just, they're complex creatures. It's not us, it's them. Hey, it's not me, it's actually you this time. Fun fact. Capricorns too can hold a grudge. So if you're close to the Capricorn, this might be the year to really, heal some things or watch your back and run away as far as possible because you never know. Okay, you never know with a Capricorn. I know a couple of these guys. They're all right. Capricorns are chill. I don't know why I'm roasting so hard. Number 4, Taurus. You mess with the bull, you get the Taurus Hornus. A Taurus is represented by the bull, which is one of the most accurate zodiac pairings that there is, but the dark side of your sign is represented by a fallen demon. There's always drama with someone falling out of the skies or coming up from the hells. Just, can we stay? Can we chill, please? Things don't always go swimmingly for a Taurus, but they're strong, and more often than not, they end up making it to the other side of said difficult situation. So keep it up, Taurus guys. But this can make them tough souls, right? This is good. This is all progress. With all the trials and tribulations faced in the past, we might see a Taurus closing themselves off more than ever before. So if you're a Taurus, hit that thumbs up, loosen up. Comment down below. Say, hey, I'm a Taurus. Number 3, Aquarius. Ganymede was the young, beautiful prince of Troy. Remember him? Oh, so handsome. Anyone who looked at him, any gender, you're doomed, pal. You're sucked into that beauty. January 20th to February 18th, right? The new year, let's talk, new love. This is a fun one. Everybody else is getting attacked by cosmic crabs or sent on missions from half bull, half man creatures. Over here, everybody's trying to just not hook up with an Aquarius. That's their main goal. Is he looking at me? Oh, he's so hot. Okay, I have to go talk to him. I'm sorry. Ganymede was a swift addition to Olympus as well, as he charmed, you know, everybody and everything up there. Even Zeus caught some feelings. Yeah, Zeus was like, hang on, Zeus. He disappointed Hera a bit when he anointed Ganymede as his lover, and now his cupbearer. Yeah, out of compassion, Ganymede begged Zeus to then help him send rain to the thirsty people on Earth, and Zeus, out of love, because he was so, of course, Zeus agreed, and Ganymede was defined as Aquarius, aka God o' Rain. Although an Aquarius can have zero compassion sometimes, they can ride solo at any point, okay? So don't ask for too much rain, or else you'll run the well dry. Number 2, Gemini. Gemini is represented by the twin. But the dark side of their sign is the Hydra, or the basilisk. Yeah, remember the basilisk from Harry Potter? The thing he has to stab in the mouth with a sword? Awesome, you're one of those, apparently. A Gemini gets a bad rep for being two-faced, but I like to think of it more as multi-faced, you know? Like, hey, they're adaptable. They're not shady. They're not a basilisk, they're an adaptalisk. Geminis know their worth and they're social butterflies who can adapt to the many situations they find themselves caught in, right? They're good on their feet. But Geminis can definitely be dangerous if you're not careful. With the world opening back up, Geminis might get a little too excited and get back out there. We may see them making too many plans that they absolutely cannot keep up with. Is this me? This sounds a lot like me. Yeah, we should definitely start a podcast. Let's do it, man. Next year, maybe, sure. We can't keep up with plans. I'm saying we. This is definitely me in my soul. It's also worth mentioning to try and be as clear as you can when you're speaking to a Gemini, because you might just see the other side, right? You might just get to them. May 21st to June 20th. Go get them, you immortal twins, both of you. And finally, number 1, Libra. On my Libra scales, I'm weighing sins and forgiveness. Lil Wayne, 2011. Great line. The scales, baby. Let's see what's going on here. What's weighing over in this way? I had to save the best for last, you know, being a Libra and all. Libras are represented by the scales and they're known as being one of the kindest signs, of course. But they absolutely have a dark side. Libras can be a bit harsh because they like things to be done well and they want their surroundings to be beautiful while they do it. Like this, or this. That's beautiful, right? This can, however, make them a tad selfish or, you know, a lot selfish. Yeah, I'm talking about you, pal. It's me in the prompter. I'm just a little pep talk here. Libras have a good tendency to look at the bigger picture and they strive to please and make others happy, but this can often leave them forgetting about themselves, right? What about me? Damn it! This year it might be easy for Libras to get burnt out trying to please others. It's also the only sign that's represented by an inanimate object, so that's cool as well. I'm like, hey, I'm an object that weighs things. I'm not a fish or a crab or a lion, just the scale. Themis, the god of justice, holds a scale blindfolded in Greek mythology. Yeah, we don't look, but we do judge. There we go, September 23rd to October 22nd.
Starting us off with number 10 are Leos. Low-key the best sign, and yes, I'm totally biased. If you are a Leo, number 1, congratulations. And number 2, that means you were born between July 23rd and August 23rd. Now let's get into me basically trash talking my own sign for the next few minutes. Now Leos are ruled by fire. We're literally represented by the lion. I haven't even named a trait yet, and those things are already dangerous. We have high tempers, which I can totally see that. Although I, high-key, actually never fought with anyone, just letting you know. We are known to have huge egos and think highly of ourselves, which I can totally attest to, and I've seen it in literally every Leo I've ever met. This sign likes control, they like to be at the center of attention and have hugely dominating personalities, which makes them charming. It makes other people want to listen to them, which could be dangerous. They're notoriously passionate and feisty, but once they lose their temper, that's it. That could low-key be a psychotic break if you're not careful. If these signs are committing a crime, it would be to become famous essentially, and I was thinking about it and I actually agree. Like if I was gonna commit a crime, I'd at least want to be on the front page of newspapers for it. Like I don't want to just be put in jail and just kill for no reason. You know what I mean? I just need the credit, I need the clout. Infamously dangerous Leos include myself, victims 1, myself, the acid bath killer 6 to 9 victims, the Cleveland Strangler 11 victims, Rasputin, Mussolini, and one half of the Moors murderers, Myra Hindley 5 victims. Oh, Coming in at number 9 are Scorpios, born between October 24th and November 22nd, so happy birthday in advance to all the Scorpios watching right now. Now here's where I insult you, again, not my own opinions. So Scorpios are known to be jealous, aggressive, and sadistic, which honestly seems like the perfect 3 ingredients needed for a very dangerous, murderous stir-fry we're creating right now. They're actually considered the most sadistic sign out of all of them, and an evil Scorpio won't even bat an eyelid when committing a murder. That's just like a casual Saturday night for them, like no biggie. They're cunning in a way that they might not always be committing the crime themselves, but they'll always be the puppet master, no doubt. So manipulation is a skill they very much have under their belt as well. They're unpredictable and extremely intense too, so all in all, I feel like this combo was made for danger. Infamously dangerous Scorpios include Charles Manson, the Giggling Granny, 11 victims, Hell's Bell, 40+ victims, Alton Coleman, 8 victims, and the Sunday morning slasher, 20 to 100 victims. At number 8 we have Pisces, and if you are a Pisces, that means you were born between February 19th and March 20th, but what do we need to know about this sign? You know what they say, beware of the fish that swims in 2 directions. Now is that a euphemism for being two-faced? We shall find out. Now this sign is extremely hot-tempered, and they do have this hidden dark side, so that's where the 2 fish come in. Unlike the other signs on the list, Pisceans are more dangerous to themselves than they are to other people, which I mean is great if you're other people, but bad if you're a Pisces. Lol. It's hard to imagine the sign is dangerous since they are usually so loving and caring, but they also have little to no self-control. They're known for substance abuse crimes, but if you don't keep their self-destructive nature in check, it starts going outward and destroying other people, aka murder. We're talking murder, people. They can become insecure and unstable, and that's what makes them a risky sign. They have trust issues, but let's face it, don't we all? And they can very easily become addicted to substances or people, and being addicted to a person is the most dangerous thing of all, in my opinion. Infamous Pisceans include Osama bin Laden, John Wayne Gacy the Clown Killer, who had 34 victims, the Scorecard Killer, 20 to 70 victims, the Night Stalker, 14 victims, the Green River Killer, 50 to 90 victims, the BTK Killer, 10 victims, the Meanest Man in America, 10 victims, and so on. Oh my god, the list for Pisces was so long. I was surprised. I was shook. Didn't know there were that many problematic ones out of you. Clearly they are. I'm watching out for you now. Now at number 6 is Virgo, and if you are one, that means you're born between August 24th and September 23rd. So firstly, again, happy belated birthday, and secondly, you better not be on your criminal bullshit. Virgos are known to be perfectionists, which is great when it comes to daily life until it consumes you, but it's even better when you're a murderer. They say the perfect crime doesn't exist, but Virgos would disagree. These signs have a criminal streak in them, but then again, don't we all? They're clean, they're deliberate, and neat with everything they do, meaning every single thing they do has purpose, and they will never leave a messy trail leading back to them. They will sterilize the hell out of that crime scene, so by the time they're done with it, it's gonna be cleaner than it was first built. And that's saying something. That is saying something. And that is what makes them so dangerous. They're sneaky, but luckily for us, murder isn't their go-to crime. Thank They prefer smaller crimes and would lean towards things like stealing and hacking. So I mean, they won't kill you, but they could easily just hack into your bank account and empty it. So I mean, you tell me, would you rather be dead or poor? That's what I thought. Infamous Virgos include Ivan the Terrible, serial killer Henry Lee Lucas, 150+ victims, the dating game killer, 10 to 130 victims, the Angel of Death, Gerald Stano, 20 to 40 victims, the Boston Strangler, 13 victims, and so on. Coming in at number 5 is Capricorn, born between December 23rd and January 20th. My family is filled with Capricorns, my sisters and my mum are all that, and considering they're meant to be all-round crooks, that simply just isn't the vibe we're going for here. Now, according to the FBI, this sign is behind a lot of mass murders. They're extremely dangerous because they are that jack of all trades sign. They're gonna be the ones committing the petty small crimes like theft, but they're also gonna be the signs committing sadistic ass murders. There's really no in between. They're probably gonna wake up and be like, how am I feeling today? Do I want to rob a bank or do I just want to run someone over? Don't know. Guess I'll just decide when I get in the car. That's just their daily decision making, I think. But on the downside, they're quite bad at covering their tracks, meaning they're careless and get caught easily, which is actually interesting to hear because I feel like my mum and sisters pay so much attention to detail I can't even see them being careless. So again, like I said, not every single thing will apply to you, and that's fine. Infamously dangerous Capricorns include serial killer William Bonin, victims 20 to 40 people, the Candyman, 30 plus victims, the Alligator Man, 2 to 20 victims, Ian Brady, the Moors murderer, and the Brooklyn Strangler, both with 5 victims each. At number 4 is Aries, which means your birthday falls between March 21st and April 19th, and yes, my ex was an Aries, and he's in jail now, so no, I'm kidding. But just FYI, we're actually on really good terms. I just like making ex jokes. I know I make a lot and you guys are probably like, she's so salty. I'm not. Either way, from experience and reading a ton of Zodiac sign magazines when I was younger, the first thing I think of when I think about an Aries is stubbornness. This is one of the most stubborn and proud signs out there, and they don't like being dominated or challenged from any angle. And if you try to do either of those things, they will go off. They're also extremely hot-headed, which yes, I agree. And once they lose their temper, that is it. All they see is red. Thankfully, they calm down quite quickly, so they may get crazy aggressive in that angry period, but not enough to actually kill someone, so thank God. Now, Arians go for the illegal kind of dangerous, like becoming hitmen or assassins, that sort of thing. Infamous Arians include Hitler, the racist killer, not the same person by the way, 7 to 22 victims, serial killer Donald Harvey, 30 to 60 victims, the happy face killer, 8 victims, the Casanova killer, 18 to 40 victims, Herbert Mullen, 13 victims, the Serpent, and believe me, this list was a lot more extensive than I wanted it to be because I feel like I have a thing for Arians. I would just seem to find myself like attracted to them, and that's just problematic, isn't it? Very problematic indeed. We'll sort this out in therapy. Filling our number 3 slot is Sagittarius. Now, born between November 23rd and December 22nd, Sagittarians can be absolutely ruthless. When you meet a bad one, they are the worst of the worst. They're volatile, unforgiving, and just all around harsh. Now, they aren't the go-to serial killer zodiac by any means, and that's good, and they won't actually kill unless they absolutely need to. This sign is actually known to be a great thief and generally quite crafty. There's a long ass list of criminals that escape from prison, and a majority of them are Sagittarius, so I mean, you gotta give credit where it's due. Like, that's a big feat. Now, according to the FBI statistics, they're the craziest of all signs, which I don't even get. If they're the craziest, why are they not at number 1? Why are they at number 3? They're great at the triple whammy of what it takes to be a mass crime committer: manipulation, control, and leading. Famous dangerous Sagittarians include resident serial killer Ted Bundy, who escaped from jail twice, Pablo frickin' Escobar, Joseph Stalin, the torso killer, 6+ victims, the stalking strangler, 7 victims, and serial killer Edmund Kemper, 10 victims. So you guys have an impressive list, I have to say. Now at number 2 is Taurus. The stubborn bull falls between April 20th and May 20th, and I was actually very surprised to see this at number 2. I know a lot of Taurians. My friend Leanne, who did my birth chart, is a Taurus, and she's quite chill. Actually no, as a kid she used to beat us up, so forgot about that. Not chill at all. Either way, Taurians may not be the serial killers on the list, but they are the ones that love money, luxury, and power. That, mixed with them being extremely temperamental, possessive, and stubborn, becomes an explosive mixture. This love and greed can force Taurans onto dangerous paths to get what they want, which makes them a risky sign. They're natural born leaders, bordering on the line of dictatorship, so I mean, take from that what you will. Infamous dangerous Taurians include Saddam Hussein, the Lonely Hearts Killer, who had 17 victims, Amy Archer Gilligan, 50 victims, H.H. Holmes, aka the Torture Doctor Killer, 9 to 200 victims, the Gorilla Killer, 22+ victims, and bonus one, was actually born on the cusp, so depending on what time he was actually born, he could very well be a Taurus. And honestly, I wasn't that convinced about Taurians being dangerous, but seeing the people on this list, I'm like, damn, you're problematic. And finally, at number 1 is Cancer, which is June 21st to July 22nd. And believe me, I looked at countless websites and FBI statistics that named Cancer as the most dangerous zodiac sign. That wasn't even me reaching. According to FBI statistics, Cancerians are the most dangerous simply because they have a lack of control over themselves and are known for mental instability. They're actually arrested the most out of any of the signs, and that instability usually makes them repeat offenders. They exhibit a lot of manipulative and passive-aggressive behavior, which I mean makes it hard to understand them and figure them out and what their next move would be. But I feel like everyone is passive-aggressive to a degree, not just Cancerians, but they're known for committing crimes of passion and for leaving distinguishable marks on their victims' bodies. Now a bit of tea. Now I have only ever had beef with Cancers, but I also have a lot of friends that are Cancer, so it's just like a love-hate relationship. Like, what do we do? Do I love you? Do I hate you? I don't really know. Starting us off at number 10 is Aries, and that is you if your birthday is between March 21st and April 19th. My ex was an Aries, and when we were younger, if he got angry, he would just see red, like he would not even hear what I was saying. So I believe the sign being at number 10. As a fire sign, Arians are easy to anger, and since they have very little temper control, something small can turn into something huge real quick. It's quite easy to annoy an Aries. All you have to do is get in the way of something they want and just keep getting in their way. The more obstacles you present them with, the more agitated they're going to get. This sign tends to explode when they're angry, and they don't really care who's in their line of fire. They'll have a bit of a hissy fit, but they're also not shy when it comes to admitting they're wrong and apologizing. I reckon we can cut Arians some slack since they are the babies of the Zodiac, so they're automatically just not the most mature within the signs. It's okay, you the baby, we forgive you. Coming in at number 9 is Taurus, which is you if you were born between April 20th and May 20th. I was honestly surprised Taurus was so high up on the list because I know a few myself, and although they are hyper emotional beings, I haven't seen any get particularly angry. Whenever my best friend Leanne gets angry, she's a Taurus, she just starts crying angry tears, and I'm like, do I comfort her? Do I get out of her way? Is she gonna get angrier if I hug her? I don't know what to do. First things first, Taurus is represented by the bull, meaning they have an explosive, violent, and obsessive sort of anger. This sign is as stubborn as it gets, but to be fair, they only get mad when it's actually necessary. Little things don't mean shit to them, it's the deep things they actually care about. And it's not like they want to explode, they'll try to keep it in for as long as possible, giving you subtle hints that, you know, I'm a little bit angry. The silent treatment, the cold shoulder, and when that doesn't work, it's volcanic eruption time. Taurans may forgive, but they definitely don't forget. When this sign goes off, and believe me they will, they'll be putting receipts out of their ass about you said at 4 p.m. on Friday the 8th 4 years ago. Can't be having that. At number 8 we have Sagittarius, another fire sign. These babies are born between November 22nd and December 21st. I mean, according to NASA though, are you really a Sagittarius or are you an Ophiuchus? I hate that word. I just don't want that to be a zodiac because it's so hard to say. Like, none of the other zodiacs are hard to say. Ophiuchus. Come on! Give me a break! Either way, this sign is honestly usually very sweet and calm, but they're also a ticking time bomb. As nice as they are, when they're in a bad mood or they get pissed, they will burn the house down. If a Sagittarius is actually taking the time to pick a fight with you, there is no backing down. This sign will explode in a way you'll never forget, taking everything in their path down with them. This sign gets nasty and says just about anything to you. Some have even described this sign as a monster when angry, and one that is the most likely to resort to a physical assault, but that's very rare. They will continuously one-sidedly lecture you until you see their side, or at least pretend to, just so they shut up. Filling at number 7 slot are Geminis, born between May 21st and June 20th. The twin air sign loves to talk, which makes their anger the most vocal one. My dad's a Gemini and he's such a calm being who rarely ever gets angry, so I'm like, what? Either way, if a Gemini is angry at you, expect a whole load of stubborn shouting coming your way and no listening to reason. This sign can tend to get anxious and agitated, and that energy morphs into anger when they don't know how to go about a situation. But the sign is known for having two sides to them. If they're not screaming at you, they may just be sitting there cool-headed, marinating in their anger and just coming for your jugular by calmly insulting you and ending your friendship. So either they're angry or they're calm and conniving like Jekyll and Hyde, and I want neither of those options. Sometimes they just keep running their mouths and they don't even remember the point they're trying to make anymore. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna let you finish, but what is your point? Now at number 6 is Libra, meaning if your birthday falls between September 23rd and October 22nd, you are this air sign. Dubbed the peacekeepers of the zodiacs, Libras are super easygoing and try to have harmony and balance in their lives as much as possible. This sign hates confrontation more than anything and will try to not engage for as long as possible before they do engage in the bloody warfare. Anger is an unattractive emotion to most Librans. It just doesn't go with their overall charming brand, you know what I mean? They try and act holier than thou and above it all, but they do lose their cool as well. Libras have this annoying way of justifying literally everything they do, including when they're having a meltdown, like chill dude, daddy chill. This sign is a natural lawyer and do not lose arguments easily and know exactly what platform each person is standing on and how to knock the other person well off their pedestal. Coming in at number 5 is Cancer. With birthdays falling between June 21st and July 22nd, this water sign has an expressive kind of anger. They're very sensitive and maternal, so no one really fears this sign, but you know what they say, the crab has quite a painful pinch. Now at first they'll just sulk around. If no one gives them attention, they'll turn to more passive-aggressive methods before going into their protective shells and crying. When angry, Cancerians are literally adult babies who will throw a tantrum when they feel like they're being excluded, taken advantage of, or are being underappreciated. But when they make it rain, they let it pour. That's been building up for years will come out, and at some point you'll be like, is this even relevant to the argument? But you also feel too guilty to ask them that, so you'll just kind of be standing there like, okay. Now the bad thing about Cancerians is that they also take a really long time to cool down. They're very comfortable with their feelings and are an empathetic sign, meaning it's also easy for them to take on the emotions of people around them and get pissed off on other people's behalf. Personally, they dwell on the past a lot, which can be pretty intense, and they make themselves upset over imaginary scenarios. That's called an overthinker. I am a huge overthinker, so I get you, boo. At number 4 is Pisces. Born between February 19th and March 20th, this water zodiac in particular is a vulnerable and emotional one. They're deeply emotional, literally always in their feelings and not in the good way, not like Kiki, and they can't take constructive criticism for Pisceans rarely get angry, but when they do, they're outright horrifying to be around. They rage, and instead of lashing out at others, they become self-destructive and violent, and their mind starts thinking of the most dramatic scenarios. This is all because they try and internalize their anger until it spirals into self-doubt and frustration. This sign takes everything personally, but isn't dramatic about it, thank God. Instead, they'll just plot a very specific kind of revenge that involves emotionally manipulating you. It's very victim mentality with the Pisces. Filling at number 3 slot are Scorpios. Honestly, I thought this sign was unfairly stereotyped because no one likes scorpions, and that really spills over onto the likeliness of the sign, but I don't think it was as unfair as I first thought. Born between October 23rd and November 21st, this water sign has a brutal source of anger. This sign feels emotions on a very deep level, meaning their anger runs deep as well. Scorpios really don't get angry very easily or often, but when they do, they still try to keep it in. They use silence as their deadliest weapon. This sign doesn't forgive, they do not forget, and more importantly, they don't let the issue go. There is no letting go. A furious Scorpio will destroy you emotionally and continue eating McDonald's for lunch like nothing even bloody happened, while your dignity is just on the floor, and you're just picking up the pieces. Scorpios hold grudges. They will be on their deathbed and bring up the time you unplugged their phone when it was on 4% charge. Let it go, man, it was 5 years ago. This sign will be so angry and won't even know it because it'll be so passive aggressive at first, but when the stinger comes out, it comes out. You know, stinger, scorpion, come on. Now at number 2 are Leos. My sign. Honestly, I rue our feistiness and the fact that we are little just balls of fury. Born between July 23rd and August 22nd, it is currently Leo season, aka everyone's favorite season. It's our time to shine, babies, let's go. As fire signs, Leos are dramatic as hell and they are dominant. I can attest to that 100%. I'm so bloody dramatic. If I don't get what I want, I sometimes just legit pretend to die. It's quite funny actually. Other people don't think so. Now Leo's anger is more rage than it is anger, and it's all noise. The louder we get, the better a point we think we're making, when that's really not true. This sign is a true hothead, and when they're angry, they believe with every fiber of their being that they are right and they will not back down. We will go to embarrassing lengths to prove we are right and you are wrong. Admitting they're wrong is just not in their vocabulary. Why would it be? It never happens. We're Leos. Can you see why I'm such a problematic sign? Like, oh my god. Leos also like to be hurtful and will resort to personally insulting the person they're angry at just to establish superiority. I don't personally do this one, but as a Leo I can understand others who would. We definitely don't mind forgiving someone, and our anger subsides rather quickly, but apologizing, I don't know about that. We don't know about that now. We're lions, so you know it really is a roaring type of anger. And finally, at number 1 are Capricorns. With birthdays between December 22nd and January 19th, my family is full of Capricorns. My mum and both my sisters are Capricorns, and as a Leo, my mum and I tend to butt heads quite often. I just need to know when to shut up, but I simply don't. Capricorns are a nice earth sign. They're hardworking, maternal people who don't get triggered and angry often. This sign is the best at keeping their exposure and letting their emotions bubble under the surface for as long as humanly possible. But like life, anger is something they take extremely seriously. Someone has to really push a Capricorn for them to destruct, and destruct they will. They're known to smash whatever's nearby, and their outbursts shock everyone around them because it's like, where the hell did that come from? Capricorns will never outright say they're mad at you, they'll just hit you with the fact they're disappointed in you, which is arguably a lot worse. The 1% of the time the sign loses its temper, it is over for everyone. Run, and don't look back, because they will hurt the first person they see, and if it's you, God save your soul. Starting us off at number 10 is the River of Night, and this one has a huge range. If you were born between March 1st to March 12th, April 10th to 18th, or May 9th to 15th, then your zodiac is River of Night. Beyond the zodiac is actually Eridanus, the celestial stream, also called the River of Night in Babylon. It's said that life and time were both envisaged as a great river in the ancient world. Now, personality-wise, people with the zodiac think life is one big adventure. They want to experience everything there possibly is to experience, and they don't care who they hurt in the process. These people have so many moods, sometimes you don't even know who you're gonna get when you speak to them. They're great at putting on whichever facade or face they want you to see, but are incredibly deep and complicated to understand. Now, these ones are the ones your parents warned you about, people. It's not your ex, it's the River of Night. And the precious stone of the River of Night is amber. Coming in at number 9 is the Dolphin, and if your birthday is between January 29th and February 8th, then you are the Dolphin. The Delphinus, aka the Dolphin, was called the glory of the flood of stars. It was a symbol of philanthropy and was also the messenger of Poseidon or Neptune, whichever you choose to call the sea god. This zodiac is immensely smart. They majorly think outside of the box. They're extremely sensitive to others and sensuous. But these people are good for the most part, but the one thing they can't stand are restrictions. No one is holding them back, no one is telling them what to do, and if you do, you best believe you're getting cut right off. It's their way or the highway, and the Dolphin's precious stone is obviously aquamarine. At number 8 we have the Raven. If your birthday falls between September 29th and October 11th, then you are the Raven. Now, ancient story-wise, the Raven was sacred to the god of prophecy, Apollo. No matter where you've heard the story, the Raven has always been associated with prophecy. Even in ancient Ireland, domesticated ravens were considered to be able to tell the future. In Norse mythology, the two great ravens, Hugin and Munin, aka mind and memory, would always accompany the Norse god Odin. So from their origin story, it's pretty self-explanatory that these people can soak up the atmosphere around them like a sponge. They remember every little detail about everyone and everything. But the main battle for this zodiac is between reason and emotion. They find it hard to find the balance between both, so they're known to make rash decisions dictated solely by the heart or solely by the mind, and then later regretting it. Haven't we all done that? I've definitely done that. I feel like I'm very much like this. I'm always like choosing what my heart wants over my head, and then I get screwed over. And the precious stone of the Raven is the jet stone and black onyx. Filling on number 7 slot is the Dragon. If you were born between July 26th and August 7th, or December 17th to the 23rd, then this is you, my friend. My birthday is the 7th of August, so this one is me, where my Dragon Leo gang at. So supposedly the dragon is wrapped around the North celestial pole, which is known to be the symbolic doorway between eternity and time. The dragon guards the golden apples of immortality and is also the ultimate creative power of all the zodiacs. I mean, if I'm guarding them apples, I definitely don't know about it, because if I did, I would definitely like one of them right about now. These people are creative and complicated, but are simultaneously perfectionists. They'd rather look and learn things than be in the hustle and bustle of life. But despite that low-key trait, they're extremely intense and passionate, and close relationships are everything to them, to the point they fixate on them to a fault. Everything in moderation. Too much is obsessive. These people plan to a T. Everything is perfectly organized. When things go wrong, it hits them hard. The precious stone of the dragon is the magnet and lodestone. I've never heard of a precious stone being a magnet. Like, I didn't count that as a precious stone. I guess it is. Hashtag magnet lives matter too. Now at number 6 is the Pegasus, and if your birthday falls between March 13th and April 1st, then this is you. Now, everyone knows what a Pegasus is, the white-winged horse with a mane of gold that actually causes the muse's fountain of inspiration to flow. The hero Perseus Orpheus rode the Pegasus as he was on his way to save Princess Andromeda from the sea monster, and I already mentioned that in part 1, but quick recap for the subs. The Pegasus was also used to overcome the Chimera, which is the ancient symbol of illusion. Personality wise, these people live in imagination, dreams and visions, and that's where they feel most at home. They can get lost in them a lot of the time, which is their downfall. Along with the dragon, the Pegasus is one of the most creative signs out of the ancient ones, but dangerously so. Once they know how to use and hone their talent, there's nothing they can't do. They can use their skills against you, and they will. I mean, who wouldn't? The precious stone of the Pegasus is the jacinth. I hope I said that right. Coming in at number 5 is the lyre of Orpheus. And if you are a New Year's baby and your birthday is between December 29th and January 13th, then you are the lyre of Orpheus. Now, if you're unaware, a lyre is a U-shaped harp-looking instrument, and it was used by the great musician Orpheus to tame wild beasts, cause rivers to stop flowing, and his music even enchanted Hades, god of the underworld. They say the lyre is the symbol of the link between earth and heaven. That's a lot of responsibility. Damn, son, do see you like that. Personality wise, this zodiac is incredibly romantic, imaginative and creative. They achieve anything they put their mind to, but their biggest downfall is getting lost in their dreams or living in the pain of the past. This trait can ruin everything for them and really bring out their bad side. And if the thing can tame the beasts, they can also turn the beasts against you. That's a no from me, B. The precious stones of this zodiac are the peridot and the chrysolite. At number 4 are the dogs, and if you were born between June 28th and July 7th or July 18th to the 25th, then your zodiac are the dogs. And I'm saying it plurally because these people were born under the 2 dog stars, Procyon and Sirius. The 2 dogs follow the huntsman Orion through the skies, and in mythology, dogs were the guardians of the paths that led to the unknown. They were sacred to Hecate, the queen of the night, and witches, and Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. Wow, dogs have never been bad, honestly. They do not have a bad bone in their body. Even the ancient gods and queens knew it. We all know it. Let's be real. Now, personality wise, this zodiac or these zodiacs have the best developed intuition out of all the signs. Their gut instinct is never wrong, and so they're always judging others and their motives. They trust literally no one, but when they do trust you, they are a ride or die. The precious stones of this zodiac are the beryl and agate. Filling our number 3 slot is the Great Bear, and if your birthday is between August 8th and 15th or August 24th and September 10th, then you are the Great Bear zodiac. The Great Bear is also the Big Dipper constellation, to put things simply, and this constellation circles the North Celestial Pole. It's the brightest constellation in the heavens and was respected by the ancients as the only constellation that never ever sets into the ocean. Personality wise, these people are natural born leaders. They have the vision, they have the skills and interests that make them perfect all rounded. They're the boss of everything, and they're the ones who delegate all the menial tasks away to others. But as we know, with great power comes great responsibility. If you're a good person with good intentions, having these skills and power is fine. But if you err on the side of evil, well, it's gonna be a shit show, isn't it? The precious stone of the Great Bear is the Moonstone. Now at number 2 is the Bear Keeper, and if your birthday falls between October 12th and 26th, then you are the Bear Keeper. The herdsman, aka Arcus, aka the Bear King, is the one who brought civilization to Arcadia. King Arcus and King Arthur were great friends, so with that royal connection in mind, these signs know how to organize the world around them perfectly. They can make the world a better place to live in or a much worse place depending on what mood they're in. That volatility is just too much for me, to be honest. Can't deal with it. The Bear Keepers are as witty as they are sophisticated, but honestly, with that much power to persuade people around you, these people can make or break everything. The precious stone of the Bear Keeper is jasper. Finally, at number 1 is the Cup, and if you're born between September 11th and 21st, then you are the Cup. Producer Chris is the Cup. And I know that might seem super anticlimactic for number 1, like a cup. Are you serious, Amen? But do not fret, the cup is also the goblet of the wine god Bacchus. It's also been seen as the Holy Grail and the Indian cup of Soma, which gave the poet who found it supernatural power, making him feel immortal. Personality wise, this zodiac is very outgoing, chilled out and sociable. They're always looking for a good time, but when it comes down to it, they can be one of the most serious signs out there. They may seem like all fun and games on the outside, but inside they have this inherent need for meaningful relationships with others and actual real fulfillment that they find hard to come by. This sign can get extremely self-destructive if they don't feel fulfilled and happy, but then again, can't we all? The precious stone of this sign is the amethyst. Starting us off at number 10 is Ophiuchus. So according to NASA and the ancients, this is the official 13th zodiac sign. And if you were born between November 29th and December 17th, this is you. Now NASA looked at Babylonian Sumerian texts, did the maths, and introduced a sign in 2011, and for clarification, people born in that period beforehand were either Scorpios or Sagittarians. Now, more about the sign. Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer, and since it's in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, it possesses traits from both signs. They're magnetic to look at and talk to, they're passionate and extremely jealous people. This sign is meant to be wise, humorous, and a natural born leader. So I feel like honestly they don't have many cons, they're all pros. Of course I'd never want to be an Ophiuchus over a Leo, but hey, that's just the Leo and me talking. Coming in at number 9 is the Eagle, and if you're born between January 14th and 28th, then this is you. This zodiac represents a soaring spirit and intellect that other zodiacs just can't match. Back in the day when a Caesar died, they would release a captive eagle into the sky, and that symbolized the emperor's soul, which was now finally free to join the gods above. In terms of personality traits, no one can compete with this sign on a mental level. They think fast, they make decisions fast, and not even impulsively, everything is very calculated. They're intensely passionate, but that's also their downfall. They can get caught up in their feelings and lose themselves. The Eagle's precious stone is a quartz, because I know a lot of people ask this, so I was like, let me just save the trouble, put it in there. Amen coming in clutch. You're welcome. At number 8 we have the Swan, and that is you if you were born between Feb 9th and February 29th. This sign was sacred to the god Apollo, and in old folklore these people were meant to be shapeshifters, humans that turned into swans. Now personality trait wise, these people are passive and think a lot, but are also chameleons. They can play any role they want to in life, and they're also very vengeful towards anyone that thinks they can pin them down. The Swan sign represents the person's transformation and personal growth as a human being as they go through life and find themselves and come into their own. It's a very supportive sign to all other than their haters, obviously, and this sign's precious stone is the moss agate. Filling on number 7 slot is the Charioteer. This sign falls between June 8th and June 16th, so if you're an early summer baby, you could very well be the Charioteer. Now ancient story wise, the Charioteer was the adopted human son of the goddess of wisdom Athena, or Athene, whichever you prefer saying. He invented the horse-drawn chariot and reigned in Athens, even introducing the use of silver. Man's is smart out here. Personality wise, this sign is a natural born leader. Even when things are going fully tits up, they can bring peace and order out of any chaotic situation. These people are really good mediators, and they're understanding friends as well. They enhance and improve any situation they go into, but this elevated sense of self can give them huge egos. But hey, it can't all be good, right? Gotta have some cons. And the precious stone of the Charioteer is the sapphire. I never got the point of precious stones. Like, say I'm a Charioteer and I have a sapphire, like what does that mean? Does that mean if I carry a sapphire around I'll be more in tune with myself? Like what does it mean? Does anybody know? Tell me in the comments below. Now at number 6 is Andromeda, or Andromeda, however you want to say it. That's you if your birthday is between April 2nd and 9th, but also April 19th to May 8th. I don't know why there are 2 time periods associated with this one, but we're just gonna go with it. Now for story time. Andromeda was a princess who was chained as a sacrifice for her country and to appease all of her mother's sins. She was about to get eaten by a sea monster before being saved by Perseus. The sign is the ruler of men. It represents the ancient love goddess, so they are extremely in tune with their emotions and governed by them. They're sensitive and family is everything to them, but at the same time, no one tells them what to do. If they need to cut you off to liberate themselves and do what they want, they will. No cap. Straight savage, just cutting all y'all off. Ain't nobody got time for that. The precious stone of Andromeda is the pearl. Coming in at number 5 is Perseus, the hero we mentioned in the previous point. Now if you were born between May 16th and May 31st, you are Perseus. The story goes like this. This glittering airborne hero just came out of nowhere and cut off the Gorgon sea monster's head right before it was about to devour Andromeda. He was conceived by a shower of gold, so I mean this dude is basically Superman. Does he look like Henry Cavill? I don't really know. Probably not. Personality wise, they're extremely witty and curious, meaning they have to know the who, what, when, where, and why behind everything. But when someone is made to be good, that means they have a very strong dark side that's also hard to ignore. It's like the light and dark side of the force. Once you get your instinctive and impulsive side under control, you're a very good person, but sometimes your mind can get the better of you. And no surprise, the precious stone for this one is a diamond. Are we surprised? No we're not, because you're just so cool, aren't you? You're so good and heroic. No, I'm kidding. I'm just being salty. At number 4 is Orion, and I mean we've all heard of the Orion belt, so this one is more well known than the others. If your birthday is in between June 1st and 7th or June 17th and 27th, then this applies to you. Now Orion is the golden huntsman who possesses that glittering belt of stars. Artemis, the goddess of the crescent moon and the dawn, loved him to bits. The huntsman was so tall that he could walk across the deepest parts of the ocean and still have his head above water. Do you know how deep the deepest part of the ocean is, you guys? 36,200 feet, and this man was taller than that. Like, that should go on his Tinder profile, honestly. He would get all the matches. Everyone's like, oh, I'm 5'11". I'm like, mate, I don't even know what that is in feet and inches, but I don't even want to know. Personality wise, everything is as grand as can be with Orion. You need space and freedom, and no one can hold you down, and you wouldn't let them either. They usually love nature and need to be interacting with it in order to feel happy and fulfilled. Orions hate liars. They don't see the point in not telling the truth, and I agree, like literally what is the point? The truth always comes out no matter what. They can feel extremely let down by people who beat around the bush and are not straightforward, but they're never down for too long. Faithful and resilient, this sign bounces back stronger than any of the other signs, and this quality of introspection makes them very deep thinkers. Orion has 2 precious stones, the opal and the emerald. Filling our number 3 slot is the ship of the Argonauts, and no, that's not one of the Star Trek movies, although it does sound like it. If your birthday falls between July 8th and 17th or September 22nd and 28th, then you are the sign. Now for the backstory of this one, because with a name like that you definitely need to know what the hell's going on. So this ship carried Jason and the Argonauts whilst they were finding the Golden Fleece. Athena helped them build the ship, so it had a piece of truth-speaking oak inside that always took them the right way. That's so clutch, she essentially just made their journey foolproof. Personality wise, this sign is probably the most gifted and adventurous of all the ancient signs. Life has always been easy for this sign, which is probably not true, but hey, the ancients said what they said. But their gifted nature is also their fatal flaw. I mean, what do you do when you're good at everything and have too many talents? You can either burn out, have a power trip, or just be overwhelmed with all the options and just do nothing at all. It's really easy for these signs to get caught up thinking about their future dreams, but that also sets them up for failure because they're so easily distracted. They want to do everything so they can abandon path after path, not knowing it's detrimental. This sign's precious stone is the sapphire. Now at number 2 is the sea serpent, and that is you if you're born between August 16th and August 23rd. You can probably tell from the name of it, but this is the longest constellation in the sky. It represents the symbol of Namu, who is a Sumerian great mother goddess who personified the ocean and all the life that came from it. Personality wise, this sign is hard to control. I mean, so is the ocean. They're sensuous and alluring, but also problematic, aren't we all? They have their own code of morals and rules that they live by that may not always be the mainstream ones that are accepted by society. Despite always doing their own thing, they're not judgmental and are very tolerant of everyone around them and their views. But if you meet someone that isn't tolerant of yours, that's an issue. These people live with the saying life is too short in mind always. The precious stone of the sea serpent is the lapis lazuli. And finally, at number 1 is the Wise Centaur, and if your birthday is between November 20th and December 5th, then this is you. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Now this one obviously comes from the Centaurus constellation, and this is its backstory. Chiron was a wise centaur who taught all the Greek heroes their skills, how to sing, how to shoot, how to tell the truth, and so forth. Apparently he was wounded by an arrow yet managed to heal himself with the herb centauri, which is actually named after him. After he healed himself, he became immortal, so I mean the sign is apparently all good things. These signs are natural born leaders and healers. You can listen to your friends' problems for days on end and will always listen with an open heart. You don't like putting your problems on others and will suffer in silence if you have to, and you do. But because of that, you have the biggest heart of all the signs and harbor great empathy. This sign's precious stone is the alexandrite. Starting us off at number 10 are Libras, born between September 24th and October 23rd, and before any angry, alarmed Libras start commenting below, I need to preface this. There are only 12 zodiacs, you guys. If you're number 10 on the list, that's not a bad thing. That's really not. Now off the bat, Libras look untrustworthy as hell. They're loud as hell, gossipy, they love people and seek attention like nobody's business. These traits just don't scream trust, do they? They really don't. Now if you're lovers, you have nothing to worry about. They're top tier level trustworthy, but if you're friends, that's shaky ground. To get to the top of the social ladder, they have no issue blabbing about what you tell them to others in an attempt to further themselves. But that's very rare. If they're with you, they are really with you. They are the ride or die sign if there was one. But they're also extremely passionate. They're loyal if you're constantly fostering and nurturing your connection. But if you're not, then why should they even owe you anything? Coming in at number 9 is Scorpio, born between October 24th and November 22nd. Happy belated birthday to all the Scorpios out there, by the way. Hope you guys had a blast. Now I will proceed to insult you. So Scorpios are harsh. They're not always the most approachable sign, but they're softies on the inside. They form incredibly deep attachments to the people they love, to the point they'd suffer on their behalf. Scorpios are actually one of the most loyal signs of the whole list, but that doesn't come easily. The list of people they would do that for limits itself to like 1 or 2 people max. So I mean, if you're not in that, if you're just regular friends, then definitely do not trust them, because honestly they probably don't care about what you're telling them and will tell other people and not even think twice about it. At number 8 we have Virgos, and if you are one, that means you were born between August 24th and September 23rd. Now Virgos are honestly the mum and dad of the Zodiac, so the biggest warriors ever. It's like their full-time job. A Virgo will genuinely always come through for you. They're the ones making sure everyone around them is okay. Now they're a great ally, but it comes with a catch. They have to be invested. They have to be interested, or your aims have to at least line up. Otherwise they don't give a flying damn about you, honey, and then they will sell you to Satan for 1 corn chip. No cap. No cap at all. So that's really the only downfall with Virgos, that and they're kind of flaky. So I mean, we are seeing red flags pop up, so I mean, can you really trust them? Can you? Can you not? How do you truly know if they're invested in you? Who knows? Our set manager Chris is a Virgo, and he was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Filling on our 7th slot is Aries, which means your birthday falls between March 21st and April 19th. Honestly, I just have such a love-hate relationship with Arians. Like, I love them, but they're just not good for me, and I always just fall in love with them, and I'm just always on my shit. Like, I can't. Anyway, excuse my mini breakdown. This sign is extremely calculated. They're always internally calculating what's right, what's wrong, and they're very quick to A, do what's right for them in the moment, and B, change their decision midway if they realize it's an even more beneficial option. It's a very fiery, passionate sign, but they're not as warm as the others. They're too logical to be with you or be friends with you unless you're adding value to their lives. It's not like they're untrustworthy, but they just don't factor in emotions in trust, whereas others would. Arians are mind first, heart second, and based off my ex, I 100% agree with that. I'm not salty though. Not at all. But they will do what's best. Like, once I started smoking shisha a lot during a certain period of time, and I told my ex about it, and I was like, it's fine, I'll stop. And then he staged an intervention with my sisters. And I mean, I really did feel semi-betrayed, because he was meant to be my homie, but it was also for my own good, so we stan. We definitely stan. But did I get over it? No, I didn't. Did I smoke shisha less? Yeah, I did. So, I mean, you win some, you lose some. Now at number 6 is Taurus. The stubborn bull falls between April 20th to May 20th, and this breaks my heart because they're not really as untrustworthy as they seem, I swear. Now Tauruses really are a double-edged sword. They would do anything for the people they're close to, but then again, most people would. Their dark side is the real issue here. Tauruses are extremely stubborn and will never do anything they disagree with. And I feel like a lot of personal things you share with your closest friends can be problematic. They can be bad choices you made, sometimes the immoral choices that you made that you don't want other people to know. You need a non-judgmental ear to listen to all that, and a Taurus ain't it. Just not it. A lot of the times they make mindless choices that aren't in anyone's best interest, so you're like, how reliable and trustworthy are you? Like, are you a ride or die or nah? They really are good friends and good lovers, they're just not the trustworthy one on the team. Like, let's not delegate tasks to the Taurus. Let's just not. Coming in at number 5 is Aquarius. You guys may not have made the first cut of most dangerous zodiacs, but you did make it into this one, so we moving on up Aquarians. Born between January 21st and Feb 18th, Aquarians are all about productivity. If we think about them economically, they're very good at all the macro stuff, you know, like big ideas and stuff like that, but they suck at the micro. They're just not good at focusing and attending to small details, and on top of that, they have huge egos, and that gets in the way of them being trustworthy or loyal. Aquarians put their walls up high so the exchange of trust isn't mutual. You're out here telling them all your darkest secrets, and they're out here like, not telling you anything. And if they do let you in though, and you mess that up, they owe you nothing. No loyalty, nothing is sacred, you guys, nothing at all. So let's just put it this way, you can trust an Aquarian at work, like fully 100%, but outside of work, you may want to think twice. At number 4 are Leos. That means you were born between July 23rd and August 23rd, hashtag hashtag me, hashtag gang gang, hashtag Leo or die. No bias though, not at all. I'm actually very sad we're so far up on the list because I like to think I'm pretty trustworthy, so like where are the Leos out there that are ruining it for the rest of us? Nah, I'm just kidding. Now the thing with this sign is that you can actually trust and rely on them. They know how to keep secrets, but they will always choose themselves and their family over you, and if that means having to betray you, they will do it. And I do agree with this, like I would definitely do that, and whenever anyone tells me anything and tells me not to tell anyone, I still always tell my sisters because hello, they don't count. You're telling me, you're telling them. Sorry. As we know, Leos love attention, and although they get it naturally, at times they don't, they may stoop low to get it. AKA they could throw you under the bus for laughs or to make themselves look better. I met so many Leos like this, so I know it's true, and I jokingly diss my friends all the time, but that's more like messing around, not malicious, but I mean, tomato tomato, right? Either way, sleep with one eye open. I once met a girl at a party who like said she didn't like me after I told her I was a Leo, and I was like, well, that's rude. I don't like you either. I don't even know you. Filling our number 3 slot is Gemini. Born between May 21st and June 20th, the twin sign may have two faces after all. As you can well imagine, Geminis are polarized about a lot of things and they're very complicated. These people are social chameleons and jump headfirst into friendships and relationships, becoming obsessed almost, and then just as quickly jumping out of them. Geminis are known to have mood swings and they're forever changing their minds, so it's really hard for them to commit to their word and keep anything a secret. Their emotions rule them, so say you piss them off or wrong them, they have no issue outing any sensitive information you told them, because I mean, hello, they're angry. Now don't get me wrong, they're really great friends and lovers, but they just don't always follow through on their own word, so how the hell are they meant to follow through on yours? I mean, makes sense, doesn't it? Can't fault them for that. They like variety, they like choice, and they don't mind lying to get it. Be wary. You don't like a liar. Now at number 2 is Sagittarius. Born between November 23rd and December 22nd, Sagittarians are savage and also known as the least loyal of all the signs. Oh, these hoes really ain't loyal. It's a good thing I never dated one. Haha, got you there. But honestly, I'm not even mad at it. This sign is dubbed untrustworthy and disloyal because they're unreliable. Not in regards to themselves, but to other people. They prioritize themselves first, they love the newness of things, they love to explore places and people, and they're hungry for it. They're hungry for change, and they're so captivated by their own wants and beliefs that you as a friend or lover are just kind of a second thought. They have the stop and nothing mentality, so they literally have no issue outing you or stepping on you or anything to get ahead. Sagittarians are synonymous with freedom, and that means cheating a lot of the time. It means looking for the next best thing. Now don't get me wrong, in terms of family, this sign is 100% trustworthy, but make no mistake, they won't even second guess cutting you out of their lives. It doesn't matter if you're their dad or their sister or their kid, they will do it. They're a selfish sign, and you can't trust a selfish sign with your heart or words because they'll never treat it with as much care as their own. And that's the tea. And finally, at number 1 is Pisces, and if you are a Pisces, that means you're born between February 19th and March 20th. And honestly, Pisces was unanimously voted as the least trustworthy sign on every single site I went on for research for this video. I know this may come as a surprise since Pisceans are probably one of the most loved signs out of the 12, but they are also a mess. They're like all over the place, let's be real. They are completely driven by their creative and artistic goals, which means they're not always the most logically minded, and so their brains are always thinking about a billion things at once. Hence, things sometimes just slip out. Not intentionally or maliciously, but it just happens. Like, happens. It's the same thing. Pisceans just tell people your deepest, darkest secrets and then write an interpretive poem afterwards about the cost of friendship. Like, thank you. You could just also not say anything to anyone and save us the poem. In terms of relationships too, you can't really trust them to stick around because when things get a little bit tough, they are just gone. They've already traveled to Italy to find themselves creatively again, and while you're still crying over the breakup, they're already on to their next muse. Gotta hate them, gotta love them, but also watch what you say around them. Don't trust them with your heart or words, people. Let's not make that mistake.